It was supposed to be just another quiet evening at Miller's Diner. The smell of coffee lingered in the air. Forks clinked against plates and the low hum of conversations filled the room. But then, CK. The sharp sound echoed across the diner, snapping every head toward the booth near the window. An elderly man sat there, Henry Walker, 72. His silver hair peeked out from beneath a cap stitched with a faded military insignia. His back was bent, his hands calloused, his posture weary but dignified. Across from him stood a cocky young man, broad-shouldered but sloppy, tattoos running up his arm like snakes. His name was Trent, 25 years old, and his arrogance filled the room louder than the jukebox in the corner. "Shut up, old man!" Trent barked, his voice dripping with cruelty. Laughter erupted from his friends at the booth. Phones came up, recording. The veteran sat frozen, his cheek red from the slap. He trembled not with fear, but with the weight of memories no one in that diner could imagine. Henry reached up, adjusting his cap. But before he could take a sip of his coffee, Trent snatched the hat off his head and tossed it to the greasy floor. "Look at this guy," Trent sneered. "Thinks he's some kind of hero just 'cause he wore a uniform." The diner gasped. A few people chuckled nervously. Most just watched, unsure whether to step in. Henry bent slowly, carefully, to pick up the cap. His hands shook. He pressed the cap to his chest, closed his eyes, and sat back down. And then, Trent slapped him again. The diner fell silent. Even the laughter died. The only sound was the veteran's shaky breath. And just then, the diner door swung open. In walked a tall woman in her late 30s. Her eyes were sharp, scanning the room like a hawk's. Her steps were confident, deliberate. She froze when she saw her father's cheek, swollen and red. "Dad, who did this?" The room held its breath. Henry's lips trembled. "Doesn't matter, Sarah. Let's just go." But Sarah Walker wasn't just any daughter. She wasn't just any woman. She was the Director of Homeland Security. The young men laughed. Trent swaggered forward, puffing out his chest. "What's she gonna do? Call the cops?" Sarah's voice was calm. Too calm. Worse. She slipped her hand into her coat pocket and pulled out a federal badge. The room gasped. Phones that had been recording zoomed in. Sarah Walker. Homeland Security. Trent's smirk vanished. His friends lowered their phones. "You didn't just assault an old man," Sarah said, her voice cutting like a blade. She stepped closer, eyes locked on Trent. "You assaulted a veteran." "My father," Trent stammered. I didn't know." "He's just some old guy." Sarah's voice rose, commanding the entire diner. "Some old guy? This man fought wars so you could sit here laughing. While you were busy bullying, he was busy protecting people like you." The diner was silent. Even the manager stood frozen. Sarah turned. "Call local PD, and don't worry, federal charges will stick." The bully's arrogance drained out of him like water through a sieve. His friends slid out of their booth, trying to disappear. Within minutes, the police arrived. Trent's face turned pale as the handcuffs clicked shut. He shouted excuses, but no one listened. The diner customers who had once chuckled now glared at him with disgust. Phones captured every moment. As Trent was dragged outside, Sarah bent down, gently lifting the cap from the floor. She placed it back on her father's head, her hand lingering there a moment longer. Henry's voice cracked. "I didn't want trouble," Sarah squeezed his hand. "Dad, sometimes standing up isn't trouble. It's justice." The diner erupted not with laughter this time, but with applause. One by one, strangers approached, shaking Henry's hand, thanking him. Tears welled in his eyes. And for the first time that night, he allowed himself to feel something other than shame. He felt pride. The camera lingers on his weathered face as Sarah sits beside him, proud and protective. The caption fades in. "Never underestimate the quiet strength of those who've served. Heroes never age. Their dignity must never be stolen." If this story moved you, honor veterans everywhere. Hit subscribe, drop a comment with the word respect, and share this video so the world never forgets real heroes walk among us.